hold on. So, being a hospice nurse isn't your typical day that most people spend, right? And being in the presence of people when they die is a true honor and a gift. And it doesn't always happen that I'm there when the moment of death occurs. And I've experienced some really incredibly beautiful deaths, and I've also experienced some agonizing moments before death. And yesterday was one of those days where I had a patient that I was doing everything I could figure out how to do medically and spiritually in every which way to help this woman in her dying process. And it was an agonizing time right up until the very end of her death. And I realized that the biggest gift that I was able to give her in the last hour of her life was my presence. That all the medical things I was trying and all the things, nothing was really helping, but ultimately what helped was just being present. And I think that we've all had this experience, whether it's something very intense like a dying process, but also just in the everyday moments that we can forget that our presence is the most important gift that we can give to another human being. And it's so easy for us to get caught up in the thinking mind or the to-do list where you're kind of half paying attention to your experiences. And we feel this, our children feel this from us as parents when we are kind of half there, half not there. All of our relationships can feel it. So one of the most important skills I feel we can develop as humans is our capacity to be fully present. And it's difficult. This is not something that's easy to do for many reasons. We have a lot in our minds. We have a lot on our plates. We have a lot of things we're juggling. And then also the moment itself can be very triggering, where it's very difficult for us to stay fully present for an experience that maybe isn't so easy. But even the joyous moments, sometimes the most joyous moments we experience, we can be so hell-bent on holding on that we lose our presence just because we're grasping. So our yoga practice is this beautiful time where we get to cultivate this. We get to, put the deposits in the bank of getting to know our presence and cultivating the skill of being fully aware and present in the moment. And this is a body, mind, spirit experience. This is not something that's I'm just going to be present in my thoughts, or I'm just going to be present in my body. It's a fullness. It brings all of who we are, the fullness and wholeness of who we are, into the moment at hand. So I just want to read, you all know how much I love John O'Donohue. And he has written, a little blessing for presence. And I think I've read this before, but I'm going to read it again now. So this is John O'Donohue for presence. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you of all falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. May anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. And may you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. close your eyes and bring yourself into this moment, the here, right here. So as you drop your weight down into your sit bones and feel your presence with the earth, this relationship with the earth, this relationship with gravity. Know the presence of your whole body. So, we can go in and find little places in our body, but let's have a moment to feel the wholeness of your body. And let your breath permeate all of you. So it's not just this mechanical in out, nose, lungs movement. It's really about infusing this moment with your awareness, letting your breath feed your presence. Allow your shoulders to soften. And anywhere else that might be a harbor of tension, wherever your hidden places are, go there and give some freedom, some space. Try not to tighten your skull or the muscles around your head, but let them soften. Imagine your skull bones, those fissures between your skull bones are big valleys where you have so much space between your bones. Feel all your senses, your outward striving soften. Doesn't mean you have to close them up or turn your senses off, but soften. Again, come into the breath and now seek a bit the inner body. See if you can sense the diaphragm and the way in which it feels right now. Is it tense? Is it free? Our diaphragm is so responsive to our mind and emotional states. So seek the ease there, the space there, if you can. Once you feel all this spaciousness and freedom, bring the breath again into the whole being. Fill all your space with this beautiful inhale. Let the flow happen. Exhale comes. Take a moment to let your body feel the presence of this moment. And to let your mind feel the presence of this moment. And see if you can notice that the mind and body are not separate, that our mind body awareness of this moment is really one experience. Let's place our hands together now and see if you can use this cultivation of presence to offer an intention for yourself. So, let the heart kind of commune with the presence, feel that tone. What is it that you need today? Try to be clear in your intentions for the day. Release the hands. And let's come onto our back. All right. All right. So as you come to lie down, feel into the beauty of being horizontal. Okay. Such a unique thing compared to being standing or sitting. So enjoy how your body spreads out like water that spills on the floor. And then stretch your arms. Okay, give a good reach. Feel your body invigorate just by this action alone. And then stretch into the left and stretch into the right. And every moment that you experience sensation, it's a moment of presence in the here and now. Sensation does not live in the past or the future. It's only here. Breath does not live in the past or future. It's only here. So experience these things so that you can train yourself to be here now. Go ahead and bring your knees to your chest and let's start to rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, and then let's circle the knees. All right, and then let's circle the knees another way. Okay, let's open up the knees and bring them back in. So just feel into the movement of the hip joints, what's available today. Okay. And the right knee comes in, left leg comes long. Feel that sense of good squeeze and good length. Feel free to move your feet and the ankles, waking up a lot of sensation in the body. Try not to have agendas of I must or I should or I could, but rather just experience what is. Left knee in, right leg comes long on the floor and feel into any movement that you're giving your body, maybe through your feet or ankles, maybe through the length of your spine. And then two knees coming back in. If you have a strap, go ahead and grab your strap for a moment, put it around both your feet and lift straight up with your legs, straight up in the air. Lengthen the spine on the floor and feel into that. And if you don't have a strap, you can always hold the backs of your legs as well. But feel into the experience of the long, long spine. Stretch up through your toes and your heels, spread out the feet. Feel the length of the back of the legs. Take the right foot in the strap, left leg comes long on the floor, and experience that deep length in just one leg. Root the right femur bone down into the ground as you lift your foot up in the air. Flex and point your toes a couple of times so you can feel into the experience of the shin stretching, the top of the foot, as well as the back. Feel free to put your left foot on the floor instead of your leg straight if that's better for your body. Let's open up the right leg out to the side. Feel the deep length through your spine. So notice that we're not turning or tipping to the right. We're still feeling the ground below our body. Feel into the inner feet, so both big toes and inner heels lengthen. Be mindful of the attachments of your inner hamstrings at your knees. So you want to be careful to not be overstretching at attachment sites. All right, and then lift that right leg straight up in the air. Take the strap into the left hand. Cross the right leg over to the left and feel the right hip move away. Of course, you can always stick your hand, keep the heel of your right hand in the hip crease if you want to have a little bit more space in there, whatever feels nice. Sometimes I enjoy reaching my right arm up over my head or out to the side. So just give yourself the chance to experience a variety of sensation in the body. Stay with your breath. All right, lift that leg straight up in the air and let's put 2 feet back into the strap. 2 legs long. Feel the spine grow. The shoulders are soft away from the ears. Flex and point both feet. And now
Our left foot is going to stay in the strap. Right leg comes down on the ground. Of course, you can bend your right knee and just have your foot on the ground if that's better for your pelvis, for your back. Stretch up through the left foot and root down through the left hip. See if you can feel the entirety of your hamstring. So notice where sensation's living and broaden that out. Spread the feeling that you have in your leg of stretch outward from wherever you're feeling it. If you want to flex and point your toe a few times, by all means. All right, take the strap into the left hand, open up out to the left. Feel the extension through your spine here, breathing well. Drop some weight into the right femur bone. The spine stays spacious and long. How's your breath? How's a sense of wholeness, presence in wholeness, not just in a little tiny sensation of a stretch? Let's lift that left leg straight up in the air. Cross the left leg over to the right. Heel of left hand can press into the hip crease if you desire. Feel the extension through that leg and the extension through your spine. Notice where you touch the ground. Yield into the earth. You ready? Bring that leg back up. Last time, 2 feet into the strap. Stretch and lengthen through your spine, through your feet. Flex your toes, point your toes. Just get into a little bit of mobility in your lower legs. All right, and then we're going to reach the body out like a star and stretch into space. Feel the very edges of your fingers, your toes, everything in between. And then curl into a ball. Tuck your chin in. One more time. Expand your body open. Exhale. Draw your body in. Okay, let's come rolling over onto your side and come up onto all fours. All right. Let's go ahead and find some movement through the spine. So arching and rounding the spine, taking your time. Noticing. Feel free to move about any which way you want. So you can kind of roll around in your spine, move your hips, move your shoulders, breathing deeply. Anything that feels good. All right, then flatten your back and come down to child's pose. Feel the deep compression in the hips. Walk the hands forward and just enjoy. So if you've not moved much today, just welcome the simplicity of beginning our practice. If you've already moved a whole lot today, welcome the ease of just coming down into child's pose. Lock the hands over to one side and feel that deep open stretch through your side body. Feel it from your fingers through your entire side of your arm, your shoulder, your ribs, your sideways down to your sit bone. Thread that chain the whole way. Keep the neck soft and relaxed and find the presence of your breath. Okay, walk the hands over to the other side. Feel the sense of ease come across your neck. Feel the openness of that stretch here from hands to sit bones. And notice, is the side a little more familiar in stretch sensation or not? Okay, come back up onto all fours, a cat-cow again. All right, let's move into a twist. Left arm lifting high, high. Exhale, slide that shoulder down. And you can keep your right hand onto the ground. You can also open up your right arm. So just go wherever your body is calling for. Feel the breath. Notice if your hips sway it off to the side, see if you can keep them integrated. All right, and then inhale, arm coming all the way back up again. Then release that hand down. Twists are so nice, so let's enjoy. Open up, reach to the sky with that right arm. And when you're ready, slide that shoulder down. Enjoy what's here. So just treat your spine with respect. We're not going too deep. We're being very kind in our depth of our posture. Stay present with your breathing. What is available here? All right, come back up, reaching the arm to the sky. Hand comes down onto the ground. Curl toes under and find your way to a beautiful dog pose. So we've already opened up our legs a fair amount. So notice if you notice that difference here, feel free to pedal your feet. You can drop one heel and then drop the other heel. You can sway in your hips, whatever feels really good in the body. So we're welcoming ourselves home into the presence of our bodies, the presence of our minds, the presence of our breath, the presence of our connection to the earth. So feel into your yielding. Just enjoy being here. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to shift or change. We're just experiencing here. All right, when you're ready, walk your feet forward, come into Uttanasana. Shake your hips if you want, your head. Let go of any expectations or judgments. We're just experiencing this moment. Relax your neck. Halfway lift, the spine is growing, the sit bones climbing, the femur bones lifting. Feel the feet spread out and find the earth. Drop some roots down. And then exhale and melt again. Go ahead and climb up, come to stand. Reaching the arms up to the sky. Open up, lean back. Maybe this feels really good in the body. Maybe you're being very careful for your spine. So whatever it is that you're feeling, be there. Open up through your chest, cactus arms. Feel the shoulder blades. And then exhale and round the spine. Let's repeat one more time. Up you go, lean back. Maybe some cactus arms. And then your exhale comes to a forward or a fold with your forearms coming together. Reach the arms up, press your palms straight up towards the sky, interlace your fingers. If you want to, you can take your legs a little wider apart, reach and extend over to one side. And then come back up, interlace your fingers a different way and stretch over to the other side. Just opening up the side bodies. And then release the hands. Okay, shake them out. Take a deep breath. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open across your sternum. Bend your knees. Float forward. Release your arms away from your spine wherever they go. Keep the neck soft and relaxed. All right, and then release your arms down to the ground. Grab your two blocks if you have them. Put your hands on them. So we're coming into a supported half lift here. Hands are out on top of those blocks. Thigh bones back. Feel the feet. Spread them out. Lift your quadriceps. Try not to push your knees back. Spine gets long. Walk the hands on the blocks over to the left or the right, whichever side you want to go first. All is well. Take the thigh bone back. Inner spiral your thighs a little bit. Stretch and lengthen your heart forward. And walk the hands on the blocks over to the other side, just getting a little bit more length in the one side than the other, opening up the hip, breathing deeply. Notice at any point, if you start to slow down the volume of your breath, if you make your breath more shallow, just try to pay attention to what changes the rhythm of your breathing so you can return to good, beautiful breaths whenever you lose track. Lengthen your hands forward on the blocks right in front of you, long spine. And then exhale and fold forward. Just see what it feels like to maybe straighten the legs a little bit more than you normally do if you're used to them being very bent. And then step your left foot back, right foot comes forward into a lunge. Open up through your heart. And let's begin to bend and straighten the front leg. Feel free to pick up your toes if you want to, whatever feels nice. We're going to open up the hip flexor a bit now. So place the back knee down, uncurl the toes so the top of your foot is grounded. If that's not comfortable for your knee, you can always curl your toes under. You can always put a blanket underneath your knee and just feel into the hip flexors opening. Climb up onto your knee, open those hip flexors even more, reaching the arm up. We're going to turn this into a twist. When we're ready, bring the forearm or elbow onto that knee and open up into a twist here. Feel the collarbone spread. Notice where is your support coming from? Ground into the earth, hug to the midline. And then release and unwind that twist. Go ahead and bring the back knee up off the ground. Find your placement of your feet and then rise up to a crescent lunge. The arms come up. Maybe your arms come back. Maybe you cactus your arms. Maybe you keep your hands on your hips. So whatever's working for you today, rise up through the heart space. Lift yourself. Breathing well. And hands come down. A fuller twist now, hand on block or floor, reaching the other arm up to the sky. So our left hand is on the ground, our right arm is in the air or on our hip. Keep lifting your left thigh, widen your sit bones. Notice the breath. And then release the hands down, back to dog pose. Take the full body posture here. Yield, push, and reach. Feel the breath melt into the presence. The breath is our gateway to presence. It really is. The more you cultivate your awareness and sensation around the breath, the better off you will have access to it when you need it. Come forward into a plank. Start to integrate stability now. So holding yourself steady. Integrate into the core. Full breaths. All right, find the ground when you're ready. Rise up, cobra pose. And exhale, and float back down. And just enjoy twice more. Shoulders come back, elbows stay bent. We're opening up through the front of the spine. We're not compressing our lumbar spine. We're feeling the support of our glutes and our core to help us. One more time. Stay with the rhythm of your breathing. Come up onto all fours and move your spine about. Okay, feel into any kind of range of motion that's available. And then find your way back to child's pose and enjoy. Just let your body rest here. All right, bring your left foot forward, come into a lunge on this side. Keep your knee down, back knee down. We'll go into the movement in a little bit. We're gonna start with that hip flexor stretch. Go ahead and climb up onto your knee with your hands. Try not to fall. So we're using our legs. Press your front heel into the ground. Plug your front heel and your back knee toward each other. Hug your inner thighs to the midline. So we're stabilizing with our legs. Reach the right arm up in the air. Open up for that hip flexor extension. And then when you're ready, the forearm can come on the knee or pass to the outside of the knee. Find a twist here. All right, so we're not falling. We're still rising. We're still supporting. We're very much breathing. All right, relax and come back. Bring your hands either onto blocks or the floor. Lift the back knee up off the ground. And let's start to bend and straighten the front knee. So as you move here, if you want to lift your toes up off the floor and get your calves to open up a little bit more, that's fine too. So whatever works for your body. All right, ground yourself, feel into your legs, root to the earth.
And when you're ready, rise up, come into a crescent lunge. So the arms can be upward, the arms can be outward, wherever your body wants to be. Feel into the open breath, the big open space. Lift your heart to the sky. Okay, so what are you giving the day? See if you can start to rise up your energy, the gifts that you have to give. And let's bring our hand down onto the ground or block and find a fuller twist. Shoulders are away from the ears. Keep the breath moving long. All right, hand comes down. Find your way back to dog pose. Deep breaths in and out. Forward into a plank. Integrate. Hold yourself steady. Find your breath. Find the ground. Roll the shoulders. Maybe a cobra. Exhale. And melt again. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine about any which way you want. I know this is an unusual time to put this, but let's come into pigeon pose. Okay, so bring your left foot forward so that and take support in whatever way you need. If you want to flip over onto your back, go ahead and flip over onto your back. Extend through the spine. Stay upright for a moment so that you feel into the length of the spine and the depth of the breath. And then as you're ready, if you want to come lower, you can always support yourself with a block under your head. If you're on your back, let your head melt. So feel into the deep sensation here. Open those hips up. Relax your neck. Start to slow the breath down. Long, steady inhale and an even longer exhale if you can manage it. Scan your body for tension and let go. Climb back up onto our hands. Go ahead and lift to dog pose. Lift that leg all the way up in the air. Find your breath. And then place that foot down onto the ground. Enjoy dog pose. Deep breaths. Feel the roots. So root to rise. We have the yield into the earth and then the push off the earth and the feeling of extension through our body. The neck is soft. How's your breath? Let's come to the second side. So our right leg is now coming forward to pigeon. To take any level of support that your body needs. In the beginning, feel the sense of length and space. And as you're ready, and take your time settling into where your body needs to be in space. But you can always come to lower your head down. If you want, you can have that sense of support with a block. And so everybody's different in what kind of support they need. Make sure that you're not battling your joints. So if you feel like you're battling your hip or your knee or your SI joint or your ankle, make a different choice so that the ease of the posture can start to take over. Okay, finding breath. Long, steady exhale. Back to dog pose one more time. Hands on the mat to lift that leg straight up in the air. Feel the extension. And then place your foot down onto the ground. We're going to walk our feet forward and take them wide apart and come to a squat. And come to a half squat, where our hips are in line with our knees instead of all the way down toward the ground. Open up through your chest. Feel the work of your legs, so you can put your elbows on top of your knees or inside the knees, whichever feels nice. And then we're going to rise all the way up, bringing the arms up and out. If you're dizzy, take a moment. You can always come back toward the midline and give a good squeeze. All right, and then bring the hands down and just stand in Tadasana for a moment, just allowing yourself to be in the body. Let's rock forward into the toes and back into the heels. Notice your weight, where you're shifting your weight. And ground into four corners. Notice if your breath is bound in any way. What can you do to unbind the breath? Stand on our right foot and lift open, just tipping to the side. Feel that sense of integration. And that foot comes down, come over to the other side, integrate into tipping over to the side a little bit, toes facing forward. And then relax back. And once again, feel that sense of ground. Feel free to move any part of your body that needs some movement. Turn sideways on our mat and come out into the deep length of your body. Turn your right foot out and we're going to come into Partha Konasana. Open up into the extension of this pose. So notice we did a fair amount of leg stretching today before we got into standing poses, both with Pigeon Pose to our hips as well as the Supta Padangusthasana for our hamstrings and our hips. So just notice, what did that give you? Is there something different about the way you feel in this pose, having opened up some different places first? Ground into the feet. Feel the yield and the push and the reach. Notice your breath. All right, keep the legs where they are. Reach on up, come into a side stretch. Straighten up that leg and find triangle pose. So if you like using blocks, use a block. Open up into the chest, shoulders away from the ears, rounding through both legs. Shoulders stay soft. Where can extension live in the body a little bit more? Maybe through your spine. Maybe you can ground through your legs to feel that capacity to feel the whole body. So stretch from heart to hands, stretch from heart to crown and tail, move into the feet. And then come back up, wide-legged stance here. And turn your legs the other way. So let's start with triangle pose. Tip over to the side. Open up through the spine. Feel the extension. So we're allowing the pelvis to tip, but we're not sinking. So try not to sink into the knee, your left knee. See if you can have a slight micro bend underneath that knee, the softness of that. Feel the roots of your big toe stay grounded. Find both feet moving into the earth. What does that do when you press your feet into the earth? Where does it rebound in your body? What do you feel? Allow the shoulders to soften. Is there any place you can open up a bit more in this posture? All right, come on up, bend your knee, place the elbow on the knee and stretch your arm open up here. So same ground. Now there's strength in this pose. So reach into it, feel the earth, press into it, feel the work, the enlivening of the body through effort, not just through ease, but the balance of both. Feel your presence through the breath. And notice whenever you feel a moment where you kind of drift away, where the mind finds itself living in a scenario that's not this moment, bring yourself gently back. All right, keep the legs, reach the arm up, other arm up, so we're extending through the side. And find your way back up. Turn the feet long. So we're stretching the hamstrings again here, but this time a little differently. Wide-legged stance. Bring your hands forward like dog pose or underneath you, however you like to stretch the backs of the legs. So thigh bones back, shin bones forward. This will unlock the knees. See what it feels like to have that sense of space. Breathe into the space of the pelvis and of the belly. Walk your feet in. Okay, so heel toe them in. And when you're ready, turn to the front edge of your mat and find dog pose again. So bring your toes to touch now. Inner heels can touch too, or be a little wide. Just have your big toes next to each other. Feel the heads of the femur bones lift up and back. Extend through the spine. Let's come forward into a plank with our feet together. Notice the differences, the subtleties of what that feels like when you're in a different position from your usual. Inner thighs still lifting a bit. Engage your core. Hug your hands toward each other. Breathing well. All right, find the ground when you're ready. Roll the shoulders and then come into cobra pose or a different back bend if that's your choice. And then lower your body down. Put your hands underneath your head for a moment and just feel the presence of your prone body on the ground. So can you feel what it feels like to breathe here, to have your belly touching the ground? Can you feel the movement of your spine? All right, we're gonna reach back for our left foot and grab onto it with your left hand. And just stretch your quad for a moment and enjoy. So sometimes the simple things are so enjoyable. So I hope that you enjoy your quad stretch. If you can't reach your foot, you can wrap the strap around it. Move your tailbone toward your knees, pubic bone toward the belly button so that you're stabilizing the pelvis. Full breaths. And let's change sides. Left forearm in front, you can put your head on it. You can also, rise up a little bit if that feels better for your body. Grab onto your right foot or use a strap. Engage through your core a bit so we're not just falling and collapsing and, not having an effort. We want to have our glutes a little bit toned, tailbone toward the knees, pubic bone toward the navel, and lengthen through the femur bone. See what it feels like to open up those quadriceps. All right, let's release that leg back down. Turn your head one side or the other and just lift up your feet and rock them left and right. We're going to do a back bend here. So just get a little prepared, let your back relax for a moment. And then as you're ready, we're going to grab 2 feet, okay? And if you can't, you can use a strap. You can always make a different choice. Keep your knees from splaying out. So we want them in line with the hips. Take a deep breath in and lift on up. Breathe well. Let your breath rock you.
Let your diaphragm do little push-ups on the ground. Keep the back of the neck long. And then relax. And now turn your head the other way and windshield wiper your knees. Come up on all fours. Move out in your spine. Just move about. I'm going to come to child's pose for a moment. Relax your hips. Just let your body ease. All right, we're going to come sit on the blanket. Simple cross-legged. We're going to do a few poses here seated. I like to sit on the edge of the blanket. It helps me tip my pelvis. So if you tend to roll back in the pelvis, it's really a good idea to be up on the edge of something. So simple cross-legged twist. Feet are crisscross. Reach your left hand behind you. Right arm lifts up. Bring your right arm to the outside of your left knee as you twist to the left. The shoulders come down away from the ears. Notice what your spine is doing. So we don't want to have a huge arch in the back, but we also don't want to roll our spine back. So just find that neutral spine. Ground your sit bones, reach your crown, open up the breath again. Come back to center, changing sides. Lift the arm up, bring the hand to the outside of the left knee, right hand to the left knee. Your right arm is, your left arm to right knee and your right arm is behind you. Find your breath. All right, come back. So staying cross-legged, we're going to lean forward for a moment. Just relax the spine. Come on up. We're going to spread the legs wide on your mat. You can stay on the edge of your blanket. Lift up through your spine. You may be where you just have your hands behind you and you stay upright, propping yourself with your hands behind. Maybe you start to come a little forward. Do not worry about how far down you go. Be where your hamstrings and your inner thighs are getting a stretch, but they are not overwhelmed. We don't want to have severe tension at the inner knee or on the sit bones. We want to feel that the whole belly of the muscle is extending and lengthening. Breathe yourself here. If you're, low, you can put your head on something if you want. Just be where you are. All right, come back. Take your left leg and bend your knee. Okay, so that your foot is, on the right near the pubic bone. Open up your right leg to wherever your body says. You want to have a stretch in the hamstring and your inner thigh, but not where your knee is all tweaked out. And if you need a little support, you can always roll a towel or a blanket and put it underneath your knee so that you have a little tiny bend in the knee that's supported. So whichever works, we're going to slide into a side bend. So slide the right hand down your right leg, reach into the length of your left arm, lifting to the sky. So we're not tipping so far over that we lose our ground. We want our sit bones to be firm, especially our left one. Root your roots and extend through your side. Breathing well. Come back.
Bring that straight leg in front of you now. Janu Shirshasana. I like to use a strap for this. So you can take the strap around your foot if you want and lift your spine up and then forward. So it's not, we're not rounding the back and rolling back onto our pelvis. We're trying to keep our ground, keep our roots, and lift out of the spine. Back up. The last posture we'll do on this side is cross the left leg over the right now. Either hook your forearm around the knee or to the outside of the knee for a twist. Now, obviously this is a twist, but it's also a beautiful hip stretch. So kind of find where you want to be in the posture for what's right for you right now. How's your breath? How's your state of ground? Can you feel the earth? Are you present with what you're experiencing? All right, come back to center. We're going to go backwards through that. So bring your knee up, cross the leg over. So now our right leg crosses over our left. Find your way into a twist. You can either have your forearm around your knee or your elbow to the outside of the knee. You can even hook your hand onto your wrist and just be here for the twist. There's so many variations to just be where you want your body to be. The most important thing you're doing is feeling your ground and breathing. So this is what's giving us a sense of presence. It's not only the sensation of one little part of the body, but the fullness of the pose, the feeling of connection to the earth, the way your breath is moving through you. Come out of the twist with your breath. Bring that right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Grab your strap if you're using it. Come into Janu Shirshasana. You can always put a block underneath your knee if your knee needs support. I'm still on the edge of my blanket, so I have that capacity to have a little anterior tilt of my pelvis. Lift up through your spine. Come forward to wherever your body says go. The toes are lifting, but also the big toe and the inner heel are pressing outward, so we're not collapsing the inseam of our leg. Can you feel where you're grounded? Feel your bones drop. Feel your spine lift. Infuse your breath to all of it. Ready, come out of there and bring your leg out to the side now. You can use the strap around your foot. We're opening up into a side bend here. Drop weight into your right sit bone. Reach through your right side body. Notice your left leg. So we're not collapsed. We're not falling. We're grounding and extending. Come into the feeling of your breath. Come back to center. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. Right. Come off that blanket and maybe some rocking clouds. So perhaps, you can rock your body forward and back. Maybe you want to hang out there a moment. Whatever feels really good to your body. And then come place your feet on the earth. Drop your awareness down into your spine, your head, your pelvis. Now, if there's anything else your body needs, by all means, take whatever posture your body's asking for. If you need some extra support for Shavasana, remember there's so many ways to do Shavasana. You can have your legs up on a chair or a couch.
You can support underneath, or even your legs up against a wall, like leg up the wall pose. You can have a bolster under your knees, something on top of you, under your head, whatever the support you need. So as you begin to settle yourself, maybe you're still doing a couple of poses here or there. But as you begin to settle yourself, make sure that you're warm. Make sure that you're comfortable. Drop your awareness and seek the presence of this pose. So sometimes our Shavasana can get drifty, and that's great. We can let the mind rest in so many ways, and the body too. But for today, start your Shavasana in deep presence, even if you find yourself going into a drifty place. Start with the feeling of your breath. As you exhale, move your bones deeper, just let things drop and get heavy. Is there any part of your body that needs tension? Do you need to take support or bring your breath? And then scan from top to bottom and notice if there's something hindering your ease. So are you as open and free, easeful and relaxed as your whole body can be? Start with your skull. As you're ready, you can start experiencing your body again. Experience your breath again. Enjoy a bit of movement as you bring yourself out of the deep places of Shavasana.
Eventually find your way onto your side. Let's find our way upright. Place your hands together at your heart. Let's offer our presence. Notice that when you are grounded and at ease and present, there is more to give. So offer that out. Namaste. Thank you. Hope you